Hey YouTube, bear with me just a second. I'm trying to do a simulcast of all things, and trying to do both TikTok and YouTube at the same time. I didn't realize that I was going to need to jump through a bunch of hoops here. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to worry about TikTok because they're being stupid. All right, so let's try this. Yeah, forget it. Okay, let's see. Can you guys see? Yeah, we can see everything there, so that's good. And I'll go ahead and do a video overhead for posterity. Okay, almost thought I was ready. Then I wasn't. All right, now I'm ready. Well, hey all, one and all. I thought I would try something a little different, and I actually find it very motivating to clean up my workspace when I need to do a video project. And I've had the privilege of doing a lot of engine repairs of late, and so I thought I'd take a little breather between the last and the next, just to do something different, kind of to keep my mind thinking about creative things. And so today, I'd like you to join me as we take a look at a car. This is a 910 chemical car, and I don't have a lot of boxes. I'm typically not a box guy, but had an opportunity to get this box, and so with the car in it, and thought, well, let's do that. Pretty good price. A little bit about the car before us. This is a 910, so that's your number in the World of American Flyer. This car was made 1 year only, from 1954. And I'm probably going to butcher the name, and there's going to be those of you out there that are going to just cringe. So sorry, but originally this car was supposed to be a Solis chemical. Again, I'm butchering that, I'm sure. But because of some licensing issues or something, Gilbert had to change it to Gilbert Chemicals at the last moment. And I think the color scheme probably was related to the original idea behind the car in terms of Solis chemicals. This car is really very nice. If I don't think it's had much runtime. The frame, unless somebody repainted it, which is always a possibility, aside from a tiny bit of paint loss, just the most minor amounts of paint loss, the frame is impeccable. There is a little bit of evidence of rail time on the wheels. There's just a small amount of carbon buildup. But the biggest thing I noticed is just the smudges of dirt kind of everywhere. The paint looks to be in good shape, but the dirt, I mean, it's surprisingly dirty. I don't know. I'm gonna use a brand new Q-tip here and just kind of rub. Yeah, it doesn't really do anything. So I thought, this is an opportunity for a little video. So there's kind of two things that are going to happen here. I inspected this car previously, and I noticed, and I don't know again how well this will show up, but I don't know if you can tell that this truck is kind of bent and twisted a little bit. And if we turn it like this, again, I don't know how well this comes through. You can see that this side frame is kind of tilted in, and what you can't see, but I can, it's also tilted this way. So something happened here where that truck kind of got bent out of shape, literally. The one in the back looks to be pretty good. So one of the things I do with these cars, especially when they're new to me, is I'll try to do this, because obviously if they're messed up like this one is, you're pretty soon going to have issues with derailment. The other thing that I like to do is follow Tom Barker's suggestion, and that is use the dime test on the spacing of the wheel sets. Just amazed how often these are way out. These are really close, so I'm probably going to leave it alone. So first thing I want to do before I try to doctor up the dirt on here is I want to see if I can get this side frame squared up. And like I said, we've got a couple things going on here, and so I want to get a small pliers out here, and let's see if I got another one here. If anyone has suggestions on where to get high quality small tools like this, please let me know. These are knockoffs from China that I've had for probably 20 years, and they act like knockoffs from China. They are really, really junky. So anyhow, I'm going to try to grab a hold of this and bend it ever so slightly down. So I'm going to grab on the top and the bottom and try to just, like I said, gently, ever so gently bend it out. Okay, that actually worked surprisingly well. Now it's you can see it's still a little bit out here at the back and pushed in at the front. So I'm going to see if I can manually just bend that. Okay, that doesn't really help me much. So let me try it. I'm going down here into the bottom of the truck. I'm just going to twist it a tiny bit. Okay, there we go. Now it's square front to front, looking at the inside of the wheels up against the axle. Now it's still a little bit bent inward. So come here to my beautifully wonderful Fiskus tool. If you don't have one of these, you want to get them. Fiskus products by Alan Smith. He's got just some really must-haves. This is one of them. Portlines has them. You can also find Alan sometimes at train shows in Ohio. I don't know how far and wide he goes. I know he's from Ohio, but he's a great guy. So if you can support him, and as he supports the hobby, please do so. You won't regret it. So just that little bit of pressure on the side frame using that tool, which means we've got a nice square pressure, gets the side frame squared up. So if we look at it now, it's looking pretty good. Is it perfect? Oh, it's maybe not perfect, but it's awful close. it's going to be good enough for this guy here. So anyhow, that's a little project that you may find necessary on some cars. So the next thing I want to do is just kind of take a look at the couplers, see do they function well. Go ahead and exercise them a little bit. That one's good. Let's try this one here. Yep, that one's good. All right, and you probably saw that my lid fell off, so not too worried about that. Okay with those being loose. But now to try to clean this, you can use soft brush and the blue detergent dish detergent Dove works really nicely. There's also another option, and that is mineral spirits, or mineral oil. I'm gonna go ahead and try mineral oil on this guy. Michael, I gotta say thank you for your suggestion for this. Michael from California told me at some point how he uses this to clean all of his cars, and how it not only cleans away dirt, but if he's got a little bit of rust, it'll actually remove the rust. And so I've been kind of experimenting with this and have found that it is a really handy way to clean things. Now, can you see my Q-tip? See how that's getting black? But what I'm not seeing or not doing is I'm not taking off paint. I'm not taking off lettering. This is just a really, really gentle way to kind of clean up the paint on something. And I don't know if you recall the Aero set with the blue L&N boxcar, and I talked a little bit about how I cleaned that one up. This is one of the things I did to that one, because it was just, again, over the years of my lifetime where I've handled it, and I'm sure previous owners, it just had accumulated a lot of schmutz. So this seemed to be a really handy way to get at that, and that's the reason I wanted to go ahead and bring that on here and share it all with you. And again, you may already use this process for cleaning and restoring cars, but for those of you that haven't seen this, please check it out, see what you think. Again, it's real gentle, so I don't know if you can see here, we've got a little bit of a discoloration down here yet. It's still some dirt, but in this area it's looking really, really good. And then you can see we've got just a little bit of dirt on our Q-tip, and that's always a good sign, because if it's on the Q-tip, in theory, it's no longer on the car. That's what we're after here. I might just add that I know there are some of you out there that would take a car like this and clean it up and put it in a beautiful display case, or maybe reassemble the sets that it would have originally been part of. And my hat's off to you. I think I've seen some just amazing collections from folks that have the means to kind of go after the more rare cars. And maybe I should mention this is kind of a more rare car. According to Doyle, he rates this one at a number 6 in scarcity. And if his information is correct that it was only made in '54, then that makes sense. That there's just not as many of these out there. And again, Doyle would say that 8 would be probably the most. Well, he has a note that he puts in with some cars and engines that say too rarely traded to be, I guess, guessed at in terms of how many were made. But sorry, my mind sometimes goes blank when I need it the most, which is trying to think of the right phrase that he uses. But 8 would be pretty much almost impossible to get a hold of. and then 7 would be a little bit more common, 6 would be a little bit more common, so forth, all the way down to 1, which is extremely common. And Doyle rates this one a number 6. So they are out there, and I noticed on eBay when I picked this one up that it was one of, I think, 3 or 4 that were listed. So okay, now I don't know how well you can see that, but we're making gains here. Still a little bit of discoloration, but I think I can live with that. It's kind of hard to see. So let's go ahead and switch to the other side. And this is kind of like watching paint dry, I'm sure. Those of you that are out in video land watching this, thinking, boy, this is just super exciting. Thrill a minute. But hey, you know, this is, if you're watching this right now, this means that you're home. Your family knows where you're at. It means that you're probably behaving yourself, in theory, anyhow. So I'm just trying to help your family members out by, you know, keeping you at home, keeping you safe, so they know where you're at and what you're up to. Oh, shoot. So this side is not nearly as smudged up as the other side was. A little bit here at the top, but although you can see my Q-tips are catching some dirt. And thanks again, Michael, for this tip. This is just really a nice gentle way to clean cars up. I really appreciate it. I've done a lot with the soap and soft brush, and I think that there's certainly a place for that, especially with like engine shells. I find it to be super helpful because you've got all kinds of nooks and crannies with engine shells that seem to always be the places that get the dirtiest somehow, even though you can't reach them. So having a brush and to go after those spots is really been helpful as I've gone to clean things up for folks that I do repairs for, and stuff that I have in my collection or things I'm going to offer on the website. But yeah, this is just a really effective way to gently remove dirt. And what I love about this is it's not taking off the paint, it's not taking off the lettering. So I appreciate that. All right, so here we go. Certainly lots cleaner than it had been. I see we got a little bit more to do there. Maybe a little bit more to do there. Let's just go after that real quick. Okay. I also don't know if the comments is going on the live feed right now, but I'm a little bit too far away to see that right now, so I do apologize if you've been leaving comments and wondering why I'm not responding. It's because you're literally 3 feet away from me. I'm still challenged with how to set up a video angle that kind of captures what's going on. So yeah, the angles aren't the best, and I apologize for that, but like I said, it's kind of one of those things I keep looking for ways to do a better job of. So Just a moment here. I'll be done trying to clean this guy up, and I'll turn the camera around, and you can see my lovely mug, and I'll see if there's any comments, and we'll go from there. But all right, just going after just a little bit of dust, light dust up here. Okay, there we have it. Pretty nice looking car. I've always been fascinated with the use of pastels that Flyer did with their freight cars, especially pre-war. But of course, some of that carried over into post-war. Some really cool colors. Of course, accessories. Oftentimes, you see some of the more pastel colors, the primary colors, but they're the kind of pastoral variants of them. All right, so let's take a look here and see if anyone's tuned in. Okay, let's see here. So I'll just go ahead and do a close-up of the car. There you go. Pretty snazzy. And let's go ahead and turn this around here. And do I have any comments? Oh, Gatorman. Hey, brother, how you doing? So you love that Mountaineer set. Cool. Glad to hear that. Hope you've been wearing the wheels off on those engines and cars. That's great. It's fantastic. All right. Is there anyone else that has any comments? I'm not going to beat this horse, but if there's anything question-wise you have on this particular engine or car, I should say, let me know. And I'm glad to hear that. It's good. Okay. Well, thanks all for tuning in, and I hope that you're staying cool if you're dealing with some of the heat that I know we are here in the Midwest. It's been crazy. Had a week of 90 plus, but I'm going to sign off here and let y'all get back to family, friends, and of course your trains. And until next time, take care. God bless. Enjoy those American Flyer. We'll see you.